We can't see your screen now.
Yeah, I just realized that. Hang tight. Technical issues. Thanks for letting me know, Gabe. Everybody else is just going to sit tight. Okay. How about now?
Now it's good.
Okay, perfect. And then let me know if you could hear the audio.
No audio.
Pause for 1 second. Was that no audio?
Correct, no audio.
Welcome to our week 4 Monday afternoon training call. We're going to go ahead and go over our last agent. Coming in at number 1, JR, 63,896.54. Chio Lopez, 23,163.06. Sarah D, 22,516.92. Chris M, 21,503.04. Sam G, 16,847.70. Eddie M, 16,741.26. Tremaine C, 15,013.66. Noel M, 11,531.40. Sylvia J, 10,864.76. Raymond C, 7,181.76. Andre I, 6,844.20. Timothy J, 6,552.12. Reggie B, 5,764.56. Rodney N, 5,566.92. And Wilfred C, 5,106.24. Congrats to all of our agents and everyone who continued to work really hard. A full list of our numbers will be in our workplace under weekly ID numbers. Thanks and have a great day.
Perfect.
All right, perfect, guys. So congratulations to everybody that have gone out. These numbers are for the first 4 weeks of October, and we are at a total of 301,000 and some change issue paid. So congratulations to everybody that's gone out so far. Week 5, our final week of the month, will be calculated, and we'll have those numbers on next Monday's calls. Week 5 just finished this past Thursday, and we're in week 1 of November. So if you don't know, now you know. So let's make sure you hit the ground running. Our goal for October is 350,000. I'm pretty confident that we hit that goal. We won't know until this Friday, and we'll get those numbers out. And then for the month of November, let me just close this here. For the month of November, our numbers, our goal would be 400,000. So we want to see you win. We want to empower you to win to whatever level that you want to win. And that's why we have everything we have in place as far as training and support. And especially this call, you guys are going to get a ton out of this call. We got a special guest. Some of you have heard her name before. Some of you may have met her at a sales conference. She got in this industry, and we'll hear a little bit more about her story. Not too long ago, I think it's been probably about a year, maybe a little bit over, a little bit under a year. But she's as far as ranking, just to kind of give you an idea, she's number 24 in the entire FFL. And that's as of 2 weeks ago, so it doesn't have the most up-to-date numbers. So her name is Genevieve Okoro, and hopefully I didn't butcher that at all. But Jen, go ahead and unmute yourself and just kind of introduce yourself to everybody. So,
All right, and I apologize for some of this background noise. I'm in a Panera, so I don't
okay.
have my own office yet. I haven't opened
Okay.
my own office, so it's a little bit louder than I would have liked or anticipated. But anyway, so yes, my name's Genevieve Okoro. I am 29 years old. I live here in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. I'm originally from New Jersey. I heard about FFL through somebody that I met on Tinder, which is weird, and very unorthodox, as opposed to most people here. But
How you just breeze right past that.
that's how I heard
Hey,
about
man.
it.
Matchmaking at its finest. That's awesome.
So for me, my background is medicine. I went to the University of Richmond. That's where I played basketball. The goal for me was always to become an orthopedic surgeon. That's what I wanted to do my whole life. And once I graduated from the University of Richmond, I started working in the medical field. There were a couple of requirements that I needed to finish. I was trying to, perfect my MCAT score, all that stuff. So in between that time frame from when it is that I had graduated, I wanted to make sure that I was staying medically relevant. That's what you're supposed to do if you actually want to get into medical school and you're not in yet right after college. So I was working in orthopedic spine surgeon, hand surgeon, knee, shoulder clinics, emergency rooms, urgent care centers, all that stuff. So I was working with them, and I worked very closely with them. They would talk to me about their lives and everything like that. And I ultimately came to the conclusion I really didn't want their life. Like, I did not want that for myself. They're working really, really long hours. They're telling me all about their taxes, which is not the same as being a small business owner. They do not have our tax advantages. Okay. And, malpractice insurance and all that stuff. And their loans, like thankfully, I'm really grateful to God that I had a full scholarship, especially for where I went to school. It's expensive, AF for no stupid reason. So I don't have any undergraduate debt. So I was going to have to take out anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000 for student loans, so that I could go back to school for 10 to 12 years, so that I could, pay back all those loans plus compounding interest, so that I could, finish as a medical resident making $50K a year, which, we do here in a month. And it would then take another 5+ years before I really started to get into six figures. And then on top of that, I would have been working really, really long hours, probably burnt out just like they are, not have autonomy over my own practice. And I wasn't going to go to school just so that a hospital CEO could tell me to work faster and never touch a patient in his life. Like, it was just, I couldn't do it. So that was very, very, very hard for me, because I had spent most of my life like working towards that goal. But, I was like, I'm going to be real unhappy. I'm getting fired real fast. So I'll tell somebody, about themselves, and what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. So, I was on Tinder one day, and I was talking to this one guy, and I'm about my business, and I didn't know that Tinder was not actually for dating. So, trying to actually find out about who it was I'm talking to. And, ultimately started trying to talk to me about WFG. But I guess didn't have like whatever reach in Virginia, and started mentioning Family First Life, and showed me the numbers. They looked like play numbers and not anything that made logical sense. I literally ignored all of that. But the Rogue IMO video definitely caught my attention. I started doing a lot of research, read several. I'm a biology major. I'm a research, like, fact-based person. So I'm looking at Glassdoor, like, page after page after page after page after page, all these reviews, incredible reviews. And there was one review, like, some of y'all have probably heard me mention this before, but this one guy wrote on there that he was about 22, 23 years old, had never been to college, and was in his second year with Family First Life, and was about to do 280 for the second year in a row. I was pissed. I was pissed and excited all at the same time. I'm like, this guy, like, I'm not better than anybody. Like, I'm a normal individual, but I'm like, this guy, never graduated, no degree, nothing, 20 some years old, like, la-di-da, found family first life, doing 280, and I'm over here, got this $280,000 plus degree, you know, from this fancy university, and I'm working a full-time job, a part-time job, and a PRN job just so that I could do 70K gross. I was like, where is the test? Because it cannot be as hard as the MCAT. There's no way. Let me take this test and do this. So.
Well, let me ask you this then. You talk about the test. Do they give you your score in Virginia, or they just give you pass-fail?
I don't remember. I think they gave me my. I think maybe they gave me my score.
No, they probably gave you pass-fail, because if they gave you your score, I know you're competitive. You would remember. I scored 99 on that darn test.
I mean,
yeah, Georgia, they don't do it either. In Georgia, they just tell you pass-fail, but I know Florida, they do. I think Chris probably got like a 99.999 on his test. But that's, you know, what's funny that you mentioned, so you talked about the parallel, because I had a similar experience in my college years. I went to school for accounting, and after 1 year, I quit. And the reason I quit is because my professor, he had his own accounting firm, and I just asked questions about what his life was like and his work was like. And then I realized I just only did this because my teacher said, you're really good with numbers. And I got A+ in AP accounting. I forgot what the course was, but it was an AP accounting course in high school. And I thought, okay, that's a sign I should be an accountant. But once I actually understood what was involved and what the lifestyle was, I was like, I really don't want that. And it's funny that you had that experience. So how did that mirror in your FFL experience? Because you looked ahead in the medical field and said, I don't want that. And then you looked ahead in FFL, and by actions, you showed that you want that. What did you see that was so attractive that made you say, you know what, I want to go this route?
What I saw that was so attractive was the money. And that was very attractive because, you know, I mean, my part-time job that I had, it was a $10 an hour job. It had a $5 shift differential if I worked in the middle of the night. And I had experience. I was in the emergency room. I was a medical scribe. So like I had been doing that for a while. I had experience with that. Like, you know, I mean, I'm good with people and all kinds of things. And these people were telling me that I'm worth, with my degree, with all the things that I know that I bring to the table, I'm worth $10 an hour, and that it probably wasn't going to go up, like it was going to remain the same. Okay, but here at Family First Life, like I'll be very honest with you, I didn't understand how overrides work. There was no thing in my mind about building a team. It's just amazing to me was that if I just put the work in, like I could make as much money as I wanted to. I started calculating how many apps that I would need to sell to make $1 million in a year from day one at an 80% comp. That's what I was trying to figure out. Because I didn't understand like the whole like team aspect of this or how lucrative that could be or whatever. I was like, oh my God, if I just like, you know, do enough work, like I could make $1 million in a year. Like, this is incredible. That was just incredible to me because I was so used to being in all these other positions where, you know, they put a value on how much they think that you're worth. You got to beg people to give you a 1% to 2% raise each year, even though, you know, inflation is 2% to 3% each year. So that's actually garbage and it doesn't actually mean anything at all whatsoever. And you're working way harder than a lot of the people who are around you and you're making the same amount of money. Whereas here, if you work, you get paid. Yep. Now, you can work smarter and get paid even more. You know, there are just so many different aspects that, you know, can change that. But like point blank period, you can come in, you can put in a whole bunch of work, learn about what it is that you're talking about and just make buku money. That was absolutely incredible to me because there's nowhere else that you can go into. You can start, get a license, buy $1,000, $800 worth of leads, and all of a sudden have 10K in your bank account. There's nothing legal where you can go do that.
No, not at all. You're absolutely right. Unless legal, right? Well,
legal. I mean,
because you get a lot of times you'll get agents that are a little hesitant. That's what he's saying. Agents that are a little hesitant at kind of investing out the gate. So I like to talk about kind of the what I consider the 4 aspects of the business: leads, phone, in-home, and training. Right. So let's start. How was your approach to leads when you got started?
There's no question that I didn't have any confusion. I said, okay, got this credit card. I got high credit limit. Let's swipe. Okay, because I mean, especially I was working part-time at the time. You know, what is this to me? I got more income coming in anyway. Let's mess up right now. You know, let me invest the money. You cannot tell me to not work hard because I don't even know what it means to not work. So I said, I'm gonna get the leads. I have people to call who have literally requested this information. I don't care if it was 4 years ago. Probably somebody has died recently in one of these people's cases, and I'll just make all the money back. What are we talking about? So yeah, I think my first lead purchase was like $2K. I'm telling you, I didn't care. I was like, this is the best business ever. I gotta try. Let me go all in without having to go all in because I was part-time, and let's just see what happens. It worked out.
Yeah, and well, let me ask you, so 2 questions. One, do you remember what your issue paid that first month?
The first month, I don't know, probably something like 10 or 15K, something like that.
And that's pretty typical.
I remember one weekend I made $6,000, so I'll never forget that.
That's we all have those weekends, and that was within your first couple months. I think I did 11,000 my first month too, and after my first 2 weeks, I was like, yeah, this is definitely it. I was a little skeptical, you know, because I had been in some other things before, and I was like, I hope this is not one of them. But once I realized, okay, like you said, people fill out a form, they're asking for my help. I just got to call enough of them to go see them, and it's just a numbers game. You know
I didn't want to call people. That was weird. I was ready to spend the money. I was ready to do the work. I did not want to call those people.
So what were you expecting to do?
I'm just telling you, there was definitely apprehension in talking to the people on the phone to, like, you know, that whole part of it. Okay. But it's just a reps thing. So even though I was ready to buy the leads, I spent the money. I was like, ooh, you know, I was doing that whole thing where you just do a whole bunch of busy work to not call people. Yeah. That's what I was doing. That nonsense that, you know, doesn't make anybody any money. And I was busy enough, so that wasn't hard, right? So, but once I got over that, I mean, the rest was a wrap. So.
And did you get over that through repetition? Because some agents.
Yes, through repetition. Period. Because you're going to get better. You're gonna get better. Your skills start to improve. It's like I'm a former athlete, so like it's like anything else. It's very uncomfortable to start because it's not something that you are used to doing. But then once you start doing it enough, it just becomes second nature. Now, I mean, I pick up the phone, you know, phone script like it's nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, and I think that's important too for agents to understand, because we got quite a few new agents on the phone, and some are new by default, which means they've been, you know, not doing what they need to do to get out the gate. And sometimes that's fear, you know, that's apprehension about what's going to happen when I do pick up the phone, or, you know, am I going to get a return on my investment? So what can you say to that agent?
The apprehension is normal. It's new. It's uncomfortable. Like most things that are unknown, you have, it's not comfortable. Like you're not used to it. You don't know how people are going to react. But when it comes to the return on your investment, like there's absolutely no question about the return on your investments. If you have a question about return on your investments, you can go onto my Facebook profile or my Instagram profile and just scroll, because I've posted my deposits before. Like before I had a big team, so that people could know and understand that even without a team, if you put in the work, if you pay attention to training, okay, the money is just going to enter your bank account repeatedly. Okay, so I mean, you know, there's absolutely no question about the return, but it's up to you to put in the work to make sure that the return actually comes your way. Okay, because if you do not put in the work and you do not dial the phone and you let your fear control you, nothing's going to happen. Don't expect a return. If you do not put in the work, do not expect anything from this, because this is not a salary position. This is not a base. This is commission only. Okay, so you absolutely must at some point in time get over whatever apprehensions that you have, whatever fears that you have, because otherwise it's not going to happen.
Yeah, Steve Harvey has a book called Jump, and it talks about that. Just overall in life, sometimes you just have to make that leap of faith, right? And I think for us, it's not so much faith because there's so much evidence with individuals like yourself and others, myself, some of the guys on this call that have a proven track record. And it just comes down to believing in yourself. I've got a sign in my office right now that says "Believe in yourself," and a lot of times people struggle with that. I know for you and I, we had life experiences like you were from a athletic background. Me, not so much. I did the forklift a couple times a day, but other than that, that's as much as I did. That's corny. I'm glad you laughed.
I tried not to laugh, but that was recording not to laugh.
But it's so important though what you're saying, because I'm sure anybody that's on this call or that will watch this call when we rebroadcast it on YouTube will see you have a belief in yourself and that you're not confused that, hey, if Jim or Sue can do it, I can do it too. And I think that's what it takes. And you gotta, if you don't have that, you gotta be able to borrow that from somebody that does. And you gotta have somebody like you or I in your corner that believes in that, in you, and you just borrow that belief. And then
I'm telling you, anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. If Andrew Taylor can bag groceries and however many years later and become a millionaire, Paul McLean can literally pump poop out of the ground, can become a millionaire. Everybody can do this.
Yeah.
Everybody can do this. If you don't got good people skills, improve them. Okay. Yeah. Even the people who don't got good people skills. Andrew's awkward.
Yeah.
I tell him to his face. He knows he's awkward. So if Andrew can do this, all of us could do this.
Yeah.
And we have so many things put in place for us at this point in time. They didn't have access to any of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
We do not have this stuff.
Yeah.
All of us can do this. I don't have a sales background. I couldn't even tell you anything about life insurance before I did this. This is just all that I just copied what the winners are doing. And really, really important, ignore all the losers. And when I say losers, I mean people who are whining. I'm talking about people who are whining, people, oh, I don't understand. Okay, go over there and don't understand. Please don't come over here with that. Please, for the love of everything that is holy, because there are so many people that are winning at such a high level that there is no point to listen to that nonsense, because that's what it is. It's some nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love it. Desiree just said we're going to make a t-shirt out of that.
Yeah.
So let me get into some nitty gritty for these new agents. So let's talk about the phone script. For example, just kind of run through what you say on instant internet life lead when you're calling that. Just, kind of run through real quick. Not role playing, but just kind of talk.
Okay, Jermaine.
Yep.
Jermaine, this is Jen. I'm calling from the Benefit Center here in Richmond. I'm getting back to you about the request you made for information on life insurance options. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So you put down here that your date of birth is 10/13/1960 and that you're here at 777 Success Way. All that stuff still accurate?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, perfect. So again, my name is Genevieve, that's short for Genevieve Okoro. I'm the local field underwriter and broker assigned to your case, so I'm the one who's responsible for making sure you actually get the information and you know what it is that you can possibly qualify for. Okay, so, sure you've been getting a lot of calls about this. I do need to get this information to you so that we can finally get this information out of the system. That's why I am calling. I'm required to make sure that you actually get this information. Okay, so are you still working, disabled, retired?
Retired.
All right, perfect. So there's no physical exam, no needles, no blood, no urine, nothing like that. Okay, I'm just required to make sure that you are who you say you are and nobody's trying to get coverage in your name and, you're not strapped to a hospital bed or on oxygen full-time somewhere or anything crazy like that. Okay, so you said that you're retired. Do you have any doctor's appointments scheduled tomorrow?
No appointments tomorrow.
All right, perfect. And is it just you or do you have a spouse or partner that'd be going over things with us?
Yeah, my wife.
All right, perfect. And is she retired as well, or is she still working? Okay, and she doesn't have any doctor's appointments scheduled tomorrow either?
No, we'll be home.
All right, perfect. Are you a morning person or not so much?
Morning, definitely.
Okay. Is there any reason you can think of that you would not be home between 8 and 9 tomorrow, Tuesday? Okay, perfect. I'm going to give you my Virginia state license number. That way you can look me up. I'm not a crazy person. Just let me know when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So again, my name is Jen. short for Genevieve Okoro, last name spelled Oscar, King, Oscar, Roger, Oscar. And we said tomorrow, which is Tuesday, November the 3rd, between 8 and 9 a.m., okay? And I'm super tall. I'm like 6'4" in the heels I usually have on, so you you cannot miss me. You'll know it's me when you see me, okay? All right, but that state license number is the most important part of this, okay? So 113-4167. Can you repeat that back to me, please?
113-4167. I think.
All right, perfect. Are there any gate codes or buttons that I need to press, or can I just knock on 777 Success Way?
No, just knock on the door. Ring the doorbell. Don't knock on the door. Ring the doorbell.
Okay, all right, perfect. Do you have any big dogs that are going to try to bite me? I always ask.
No, we got a little poodle, but he won't bite you. He'll probably lick you.
All right, perfect. All right, and it sounds like you are very good about keeping your appointments, so I'm not going to be standing outside shivering, wondering where you are, right?
No, we're going to be looking for you.
Okay, perfect. Well, that sounds great. I will see you and your wife. Please let her know that I'm coming so she doesn't wonder who the Amazon is walking to the door. Okay, I'll see you and your wife tomorrow, Tuesday the 3rd, between 8 and 9 in the morning. And I look forward to meeting you and helping you.
All right, thank you. That's perfect. That's textbook right there. I love it. I love it. I love it. I like what you said. I'm sure you've been getting a lot of calls because, guys, you may get that on the phone. They might tell you, yeah, I've been getting a lot of calls. Say it up front so they know you're aware of that and you're here. You're the one that's there to help them. And I like the fact that you give them your license number as well. I mean, that just sets them at ease.
Yep, it sets them at ease. It's supposed to also kind of like give them, because they really can. That's my state license number. It's public information. You can look it up. You know that I really am a licensed professional. A lot of these people, especially those who are older, they get a lot of scam phone calls and a lot of this and that. Well, you can verify that I truly am a licensed professional and I'm the one who's coming to see you. So there's no questions about that. I say, is there any reason that you wouldn't, I ask, clear the schedule, asking about doctor's appointments or what have you, if you're retired. Is there any reason you wouldn't be home between 8 and 9? And I do it like that so that number one, I have a window of time. And number two, there's like, I'm not giving them this, and this. I am in control. I'm the doctor. I'm in charge. So I'm asking you, is there any reason you wouldn't be home between this time and this time? So it's a yes or no. Yes or no. Okay. And if it's not, then we can talk about, whatever else is going to make some sense.
Makes sense. I love it. I love it. And guys, that's what you're looking for, right? The way that call flowed, that's the way it should flow. Somebody's trying to take you sideways, you just go right back on script and you go through the process. And if they're being, for lack of a better term, not nice person, I was going to say something else, but I felt like that. But if they're not being a nice person, move on to the next. Probably put them in your door knock list. But you get enough leads, right, Jen? You get enough leads so that you're looking for that conversation, somebody that's answering directly, confirming everything, and moving through the process. Would you agree, Jen?
Absolutely, 1000%. That's how you take the emotion out of this stuff. Because, okay, like I don't have time to be going, back and forth. I'll go back and forth a little bit, maybe if I need to overcome whatever objections that I got to overcome. But if we're doing a whole lot of back and forth, okay, well, I'm not going to hold you on the phone. I just want to let you know I'm going to be in your area between 8 and 9. So I got to come by and make sure you get this information. Click next. Like, we're not going to do this. I like, my time is very, very valuable. I understand that now. Yeah. So you're not going to take me sideways.
Talk about that a little bit, because I think a lot of times, like sometimes I'll get a call from an agent and they ask for some help in the home, and 3 hours later they call me back. They're with the same client, or they might be arguing with somebody on the phone or pushing. And I'm like, your time, you got to learn to value time. I had to learn that. Did you have to learn that, or you just knew that?
1000%. I had to learn that, and I had to learn that, in a variety of different ways. But you know what taught me how valuable my time is? Selling policies. Because nowadays I can walk into a home and just depending on, what it is that they have going on, I can walk out with $8,000 of premium, and I spend an hour 15. $8,000 worth of premium. If that does not tell you how valuable your time is, I don't know what else will. Okay. I wasn't tying down appointments back in the beginning. And then, so what did that cause me to do? Do a lot of driving around to see nobody. That's garbage. And you don't make any money doing that. This is commission only. You got to pay attention. So, things like that, you have to learn and understand how valuable your time is, because the 3 hours that you just spend in a home, you now have lost the opportunity to see at least one more, if not two other people who could get some coverage. So
Yeah.
not only did you miss out on an opportunity to help a family make sure that they're not financially devastated when something stupid or terrible happens, but now you also lost out on several opportunities to feed your family. Why would you do that? You gotta pay attention.
Yep, value your time, lock them down. That's good. That's good stuff. And then, by the way, you may have said it, and I might have missed it. How long have you been with FFL? When did you get started?
I got licensed back in August of 2019, and I think I sold my first policy in September of last year.
September last year. So, I mean, you're still basically brand new, but you've learned so much, and I'm assuming that's a credit to the training that you put yourself.
Absolutely. It's training and it's activity, because you can
Activity,
take
yeah.
in all the training that you want, but if you do not put in the reps, if you do not get into the field, so the way that I talk about it and think about it like this, to the people that want to do ride-alongs and stuff like that, I say, no, we're not doing a ride-along. Go in the field and get it done. Because if somebody told me that the way that I was going to learn how to do layups was by watching videos of how other people do layups and by listening to audios about how other people do layups, I would have punched them in the throat and say, give me the ball. Like, let me at least try. It's garbage. Why would you do something like that? Why would you sit down and watch somebody else make money? That's weird. That's so weird. I'm not doing it.
I gotta stop and applaud.
I mean, I don't want to split commission with somebody if I don't have to. Give me the ball.
It's so
let me shoot the shot.
Yeah, it's so funny because I tell agents all the time, like, hey, how did you learn to ride a bike? Did you watch a video on how to ride a bike, or did somebody put you on a bike, hold it a little bit, but let you go and let you pedal? Or how did you learn how to swim? It's like you got to get in the water. But I like your analogy about layups. I mean, I'm gonna steal that, just so you know. I might give you credit for the next couple months, but after that, it's gonna be my original idea. But no,
I don't care. Less people talk about me, the better, maybe. But like the thing about it is that if I don't see you trying to do same leg, same hand, I also can't critique you or help you improve, because the thing is, I'm a big Black female, and you might not be. So the way that I do things is not going to be the same way that you do things. There's no point. You can learn. There's so many videos if you want to watch somebody do something. You got plenty of videos for that. But you have to go do it yourself so that you can see what it is that does and does not work for you, and so that you can make tweaks, and so that we can help you make tweaks. But if you never do it, how are we going to help you?
Yeah. Exactly. What can I always say, you can't stare a parked car, right? The car's got to be moving. Let's get moving. Let's get moving, and we can stare. And it's funny because I was that agent where I asked my manager, okay, so when do I get to go out in the field with you? And thankfully he was like, no, we don't do that. You're going to go out in the field. You're going to call me in every house, and I'm going to help you. You're going to complete this client worksheet, and then let me know what the client's got going on. Here are the 3 products you need to read up on those, make sure you understand how they work so you can explain it to a client. And I had to utilize my independence. I got that license on my own in that 2-hour exam, and I'm in that home, but I got support, you know what I mean? So let's talk about in-home a little bit, kind of initially how that was for you, and kind of now some of the things. Well, let's talk about that first, because I got a chuckle there. So what was that like initially, speaking of getting out there making a mess? How much of a mess was it?
Unfortunately, I am so stubborn sometimes. It's it's good and it's bad. But like when I got licensed and stuff like that, I was like, okay, cool. I got licensed. I did not wait until I had all the carriers, because I was like so excited to just get started and have this opportunity to make this money. Nobody could tell me anything. I was not prepared for the field at all. I went in there, I had my iPad, I bought leads, I booked some appointments, and I just walked into a home. I did not call anybody. I just said, I'm here to talk to you about the insurance. You have requested it, right? So, and he was like, well, I mean, I'm on disability. So, I mean, I wasn't sitting down at the table, like nothing. I just was like, yeah, I mean, you said that you wanted some insurance, so I'm here to talk to you about it. And he was like, yeah, I'm on disability. Like, I'm not making any money. He's in Northern Virginia, got this big house. I didn't know at that time that like people who are on disability still have income coming in. And I just like, for all the smarts that I got, like, was not, using common sense at all. So I was just like, so eventually I started calling in the home regularly, had made sure that the financial inventory was filled out in its entirety. I now have a financial inventory that is just, it is very, very detailed. I ask a lot of questions up front before I even open an application. But yeah, it was a whole entire mess in the beginning. I was not painting the picture. I was not setting the table. I was just like walking in the home like, what's up? You wanted the insurance, right? Here to talk to you about that. So, now I listened to, and, still listen to Inside the Sale pretty religiously. Just training has been so helpful, and I've taken so much from so many people. And then, especially once I started to get like a little bit more established, when I went full time and stuff like that, then I would start reaching out to top producers because, I want to know, again, what the winners are doing. People who are having success with this at a much higher level than I myself am having. Like, there's got to be something that they're doing that I'm not. And they would tell me things. I wasn't asking questions like, hey, how do I do this? I was asking questions like, hey, so I've been doing this, and this, and I've seen that you do things a little bit differently. Would you recommend that I switch up this, or, things like that?
Yeah.
Things that you can actually answer relatively simply, as opposed to just an open-ended question like, well, what do I do?
Makes sense.
Because then they'll be more apt to answer, and they understand that you're actually working. You're not even trying to find the answer yourself. That's a big thing for me. Trying to find the answer yourself before then seeking help, because a lot of times the answers are out there for you. Not to mention the carriers themselves.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I like what you said. So first, I'll ask you, this is going to be a three-part. One, if I'm a new agent and I'm looking to get better at my info, who are, say, your top three that you'd recommend off the top of your head? Maybe not in any specific order, but hey, listen to this guy, listen to this guy, listen to this girl, whatever the case may be.
I would say Paul McLean, because he has 8 steps of final expense, and that's typically what people start with. It helps you develop and kind of figure out what the structure is to appointments and stuff like that. Matt Smith has a lot of great tips, mortgage protection and just like a variety of different things. And then also I really liked Jonathan Porcina's, I think it was an Inside the Sale and True Talk that he did, that kind of really just put a lot of things into perspective for you and helped kind of like eliminate a lot of the BS that you come across when you sit down with some clients.
Makes sense. And then you talked about setting the table and painting the picture. So kind of talk us through that. Like, what do you do to set the table in your appointments?
Hugely important for me. I already kind of talked about credibility on the phone. I then will follow it up with, one of the first things that I pull out is my state license. Like, this is a reminder, I'm the professional. Like, you're not talking to Joe Schmo off the street. You're talking to somebody who had to pass a test to be able to even come talk to you about this stuff, the stuff that you don't know enough about, so you had to ask me for your help, right? So let me remind you who's in charge here. It's me. Okay, so I bring out my state license and I have them verify that it is the number that they were given over the phone. And then from there, I am pretty much asking them why the heck they filled that form out, in more polite terms than that. But like, why did you fill this out? Like, what was it that you were trying to accomplish when you filled this out? What was your main concern? Who were you trying to protect? Any number of those questions that I feel like make sense. I'm asking those questions. And then I want to know, okay, well, if you don't have this coverage, how bad is it going to be? The whole like painting the picture. So I want to paint the picture before I even really get into things, because I want them to really, I'm trying to bring them back to the moment at which they fill that form out. Because unless I can make them feel this pain, they may or not like want to go through with the appointment at all. Right. So that's a big thing for me, making them feel the pain. If let's say it's a mortgage protection appointment, I'm with a husband and wife doesn't work, I'm asking the wife, okay, well, you don't work. So if your husband were to pass away tomorrow, how do you stay in the house? Oh, well, I guess I'd have to get a job. Okay, well, you have 3 kids and they're, all under the age of 3 years old. So we're talking childcare. And that's another mortgage per child. So that's a lot of money on top of that. Oh, well, I'm going to have to move in with so-and-so. I have family. Okay, you have family, but you have 3 kids, and there's also yourself. And your parents or your family, are they prepared to take in 4 other people and all the costs that come along with such? Whose house are you moving into that's that big?
Yeah.
And do they really want that? You know, do you want that for them? Do you even like them enough to live with them? You know, stuff. So I'll ask. I will really ask. And it's very uncomfortable for me. I hate doing it. But you know what I hate more? Having, bought a lead, went out to see a person, and, unable to get through my discomfort enough that now I left and they're unprotected, and I left and nothing even happened because I couldn't make them feel the pain that they felt when they even filled that form out in the first place.
Yeah.
So that's really big. And then just helping them understand that, okay, I'm a broker, I'm not an agent. Okay, and I have to figure out what it is that you need based on the financial protections you do or don't have in place. It has to be within your budget. I don't care what your budget is. I meet with people who are on fixed incomes. I meet with executives, independent contractors, and everybody in between. I don't care what your budget is. It has to just fit. Okay, and then the most important thing is you being able to get approved. Okay, the reason that's the most important aspect of this is because if you can't get approved, nothing that we talk about matters. Nothing that we talk about matters. Why? Because it's not applicable to you. Okay, so you need to make sure that those things happen. And I'll let them know, hey, we might be able to get a pre-approval today, but ultimately the earliest that we know is that we'll know is 1 to 2 business days. Because usually I'll have my assistant call and let them know, yep, everything checked out just perfectly fine. You're approved. Expect a draft. The max it might take is 2 to 3 weeks. Like if we have to, medical records or whatever the case may be, it might take a little bit longer for it to get approved, so on and so forth. So, but if it is approved, and only if it's approved, your first payment's going to draft automatically from your account. Okay. And then in the state of Virginia, you have 30 days to be able to adjust your coverage up or down. I don't even say the word cancellation.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying that. I'm not putting that into the air, and I'm not telling them you can even cancel this. Sometimes they ask me, oh, well, can I cancel it? I'm like, yeah, but if you think you want to cancel it, we won't even put it in an application. We're not going to do that. Why would we do that?
Yeah, don't waste time.
No, absolutely not. So chargebacks, who wants them? Not me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's essentially what I do. I let them know I have some health questions, some financial questions. Based on that, I'm going to give you the options, and we're going to see what makes sense. But me as a field underwriter and broker, the most that I can do is put in the application and see, are they going to request you, or are they not? And if they do, they're going to draft that first payment, like I said, and your coverage will be active, but you have that time to be able to make adjustments. Does everything that I've said make sense? And then I hit, Eric Schmidt, would you like to proceed? Sometimes they say no. I leave.
Yeah.
So, and they say yes, okay. Please get your driver's license and any medications. I take their driver's license, and I'm not giving it back to them until you choose.
Nice. I love it. And that's like setting the structure and maintaining control. And I think, agents sometimes are uncomfortable with that. And I'll be honest, I was initially, but I went to enough sales conference to realize, okay, that's what I'm missing. I'm not setting the structure right. I'm being too timid, and not understanding that I'm the authority. I mean, if a cop pulls me over, he's the authority. And so he has a right to tell me, okay, do this, do that, give me this, give me that. And once you get that through your head, as an agent, okay, I'm the authority. It's my job to tell them, okay, this is a process. Now, if they don't want to agree with the process, then like you said, get your stuff and go. But,
time to go.
Yep, time to go. But you lay that out. You let them know what the structure is. I mean, I love it. I love it. I love it. So talk about training, right? So as we come to like the end of this here, how important was that to you, and kind of what are some of the things? And with your athletic background, you understand innately the importance of training, because you don't get better at your craft in athletics if you don't train. How did that correlate to this business, and what can you say to new agents to help them get over that?
If you're not training, you're playing games. You don't want this. If you are not training, you don't want this, because especially if you're new, you don't even know anything about what it is you're talking about. So how do you expect to get better at this? Like, I don't have a sales background. I don't have an insurance background. I didn't even know, okay, I could spell insurance, but you know what I'm saying? I couldn't spell insurance before I even started this. I had no idea what it is I was talking about outside of what, you know, the stupid test was talking about, that, you know, half that stuff you don't even remember half of it, you don't need half of it, right? So I mean, you have to train. I went, you know, because I really started digging into training and reaching out to producers about what it is that they were saying. And what was it, March, I did 19.9 garbage numbers is for me, okay? And then April, I did 58.8 training. Like, that's not an accident. That's not an accident. It's a combination of really digging into the training that was provided, having a mix, a variety of needs, running more appointments, setting my appointments and making sure that they were tied down, and making sure that I was calling in the home. It's just that was my fourth full-time month here, right? But training is so important. I'm telling you, inside the sale, there are just so many things that I have taken from the inside the sale, from the True Talks, from the conferences that I've gone to, that have allowed me to improve so significantly, and then have allowed me to even have more confidence reaching out to top producers, because it's like, okay, well, I'm out here producing too, so, and I'm not doing it at a, you know, a minimal level, and I'm really taking into account the things that they're telling me to do. So I mean, training is not just, you know, listening to all this stuff. It's also making sure that you're putting in the reps. If you're not doing a minimum of 250 with the mix of leads, or, you know, 350 dials on a dial day. I'm not talking about over the course of a couple of days. I'm talking about on a dial day. You're only going to get but so much practice. If you're not running at least 6 appointments in a day, you're only going to get but so much practice. People are like, oh my God, Genevieve this, Genevieve. I'm telling you, it's really just, I put in more work than other people.
So Jen, you telling me we talking about practice? Practice? We talking about practice?
Come on.
But it's so true, man. Alan was a little upset about practice, but it's the key to success in this business, guys. I mean, you're hearing it from somebody live and direct. You don't get better without practice. You can't expect to learn this stuff by osmosis. Some of it you'll soak up, right? Getting into an office and getting into a sales conference, and you'll soak up some of it, but the majority of it, and the most impactful part of it, you got to be able to get out there and do it like you're doing. So that's pretty cool. So we might have you on every week, because you said some things I've been saying, but they just sound so much better coming from you. So I think Gio's getting it all, right, Gio? But what I guess in part, what would you like to share? Again, we've got a lot of new agents. We got people that are ramping up, getting out the gate. What can you share that could kind of help them to just steer in the right direction, to kind of wrap this thing up?
I think that something that is really big is just understanding what it is that this opportunity affords to you. I said this on stage, I don't care who hears it, but like, I'm a younger Black female, right? If you turn on a TV, like, how many young Black female millionaires do you see that don't hold a mic or bounce a ball? Like, who do you know? What names can you give me? But here, you could just walk in the door and just put in some work, invest in yourself, and you have a business that's going to pay you well over $20K in a month. What are we talking about, right? To be able to have control over your own schedule. I didn't say that it's going to be convenient all the time, but to be able to have control over your own schedule, to be able to, go wherever it is that you want to go in the country. I'm licensed in 19 states. I can go wherever it is that I want to go in the country and print money. Print it. And if I had kids and they were sick, I don't have to worry about asking the boss for anything. If I want to go on vacation, I don't have to worry about asking. I don't have to ask anybody for anything. I don't have to beg anybody for anything, just because of this opportunity. So, I mean, more than anything else, think about where it is that you came from and what it is that you have the opportunity to do here. And I feel like it says anything and everything that you need. And if, not that this is not for everybody, and that's okay, but like, I last year I had a job that paid me $10 an hour with a $5 shift differential. And now I can make as much as, or well more, way more than the doctors, the surgeons, and anesthesiologists that I used to aspire to be and work with. So, I mean, what are we talking about? Like, you just got to think about the opportunity and where it is that you came from and why it is you wanted to do this in the first place. And you need to remember that every day, because it's going to be hard. You're going to want to, tears run down my face every now and again, even though I hate crying and I hate emotions. I avoid them at all costs. But, like, you know, it may be hard, but, like, by the time I'm 31, I won't have to work at all if I don't want to. It's just going to be a want to, not a have to. It's a different life, I'm telling you. So.
Yep. Absolutely. And it's so true. It's so true. I mean, I appreciate you, Jen, being on. I appreciate what you're sharing. I appreciate it, especially that it's real and it's uncut. And it's in a way that anybody can do it. You know, we could see that, you know, it's not like you got some special gift from the insurance gods to be able to sell policies. You just work hard. And that's what it takes, you know, hard work, discipline, having a good schedule, and plugging into the training. So thank you for being on. We're definitely going to have you on again. And if anything we can do at the Impact Agency to help you, you just holler, and we're here for you, okay?
It's an honor to be asked to come on and do stuff like this. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Have a coffee at the mirror for me. And a Greek goddess salad.
Thank you.
Desiree said thanks.
Y'all have a great day.
All right. Thank you, girl. All right, guys, you heard it here first. That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. Everything you need is wrapped up in that call. We're going to get this one out ASAP on YouTube, so that way you could get it out to anybody who wasn't on this call. Anybody who listens to that call and doesn't hit, 10, 15,000 next month, from applying that, then come talk to me. But if you apply that stuff, you're going to make it. So a couple things real quick, and then we'll put a pin in this week's training call. First of all, talking about training, we have today here at our Atlanta office, we have a meet and greet at 5 p.m. So if you're within 2 hours of Atlanta, you have plenty of time to make it there. It's about 2 hours away right now. And we have a business development at 6 p.m. So whether you're here or you're not, but you know somebody that's here, they've got 3 hours to make it to the business development, business overview of what we do here at Family First Life, and how somebody like a Jen can come in off the street almost and be able to come in and make a six-figure income year one. That's what everybody has the opportunity to do. This Thursday in Miami, we have the sales conference from 12 to 5. We're going to be there from 8 a.m. dial-in live in the conference room, so make sure you get there as well. If you're within 5 hours of South Florida, make sure you get in the car, plane, boat, scooter, whatever you got to take. Get there if you can.
Sorry, there's actually a few agents that are coming from Tampa. I think that there's a few from Jacksonville, Fort Myers, coming down here to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's for 5 hours, man. Get down there. There's top producers from all over, including myself, flying in to come train you guys. So Gio's going to be training as well, so you got to come support him. And then next week in Atlanta, we have a sales conference from 12 to 5 on Monday. And then in Chicago that same day, we have a business development at 5 p.m. Central Time in Chicago. So if you know anybody in Chicago, or if you're in Chicago, make sure you make it out. Guys, it's the fourth quarter. It's such a great time to be a part of this business. These instant internet life leads are changing the game for us. $11 and you get a brand new lead that you could call, book an appointment with, and go help with some life insurance and provide for your family while protecting that family. There's a song, I don't know the words, I'm not going to sing it, but the words that are in my head right now is "Oh, what a time." And I think it's like, oh, what a time to be alive. But no better time than now. For somebody that's an entrepreneur, somebody with an insurance license to go out and print money. Give me 1 second. I think there was one reminder that I wanted to mention here on this call. Two things. So make sure you're hopping into the workplace. Hold on, I lost my screen here. I can't see you guys. Here we go. Make sure you're hopping into workplace and that you're checking out the activity in there. And if you're brand new, you're ready to go, you're field ready, Make sure you're getting in there and going through the training modules, you know, the in-home, the phone script, all of that stuff under the knowledge library. Take full advantage of that. And as you see folks posting, make sure you're going in and you're sharing, you're liking and sharing as well in the group. And then we're going to be rolling out a holiday sales incentive. You should have that by the end of this week. It's going to be for the months of November and December. You have the opportunity to make, earn an extra $400 to $500 per month in the form of a sales incentive or sales bonus for your production. So keep your eyes open for that. We're going to be getting that out to you guys. So on top of the money you'll make from the commissions, the agency, Impact Agency, is going to pay you a bonus on top of that. You got to earn it, though. We're going to make it achievable for everybody. And so, we appreciate you guys. And then lastly, I want to finish up, and I don't like ending on a sad note, but I do feel that we're a family here at the Impact Agency. And unfortunately, we've lost one of our family members, Sylvia Johnson. She's passed away. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Details are forthcoming. I just found out her son contacted me yesterday. So I don't have any further details as yet, but as soon as we do have them, we'll be getting them out. And I'm going to ask her son if it's okay if I share his contact information for anybody that would like to just send a text message, with your condolences. But I want to get his permission first. But he did contact me yesterday to let me know that his mom has passed away. For those of you that don't know, Sylvia is one of our top producers. She's been with me here in Atlanta for 2 years, working with our agency and just setting the pace, representing our ladies. And unfortunately, she's no longer with us. So it's just a reminder of how important what we do is. Because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So, make as big of an impact as you can with the time that you have, protecting as many families and providing for your family, because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. I like to feel like we're all invincible in this line of work because we deal with it all around us and helping the families that we serve. But none of us are invincible. And I know Sylvia made a huge impact, for those of us that knew her, made a huge impact in us. She definitely made a huge impact in our agency and in the families that she served week in and week out. So just wanted to bring you that news, and we'll keep you guys posted as far as funeral arrangements. And again, I'll ask her son if we have permission to share his contact information for those of you that would like to send your condolences. So let's just maximize the time we have, guys. I always say that life is not about how long you live, but it's about how many people are better off because you lived. And I know for Sylvia, there are a lot of people that are better off because she lived. I remember one of the appointments that went with her recently was an annuity appointment, and we closed an annuity with Athene, and just her passion for the clients. And she wasn't comfortable with the annuity. It was her first one, and she was like, Jermaine, if you could just come with me on this one, and I'll learn everything I need to learn, and then I'll be able to do the others on my own. And she just wanted to make sure she got it right for the client, and we definitely did. And so, but guys, let's maximize the time we have. I appreciate you being on the call today. And if you have any questions, if I can help you in any way, if any one of the managers can help you, anybody on staff, Desiree or Tanika can help you, just reach out and let us know, and let's make an impact in the communities that we serve. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day.